Hello, welcome to Win Some Loosemore. My name is Dieter and you join me in my mechanisms series where I take you through some of the jargon, the terms that we use in board gaming and try and explain them as best I can to you, give some examples of games that use some of these ideas to help you firstly better understand, but also maybe introduce you to a game you may want to pick up yourself. Now, last time I started talking about a mechanism called drafting, and I said that there were two main types. We looked at one last time, that's pick and pass. If you didn't see that one, follow the link that should appear on screen and it will take you to that one. I want to talk about the second one today, table draft. Now, by table draft, I mean that the information or the resources or whatever it is that you're drafting, that you're choosing from among yourselves, is already present on the table. Self-explanatory as most of these are. So rather than pick and pass, I had a hand of cards or something, I chose one and then passed it along. So I had some of the information, you had some of the information. In table draft, all of the information is equally available to all players at all times. And again, this falls into a couple of different subcategories. The first one I think is just the straightforward kind of alternating draft, where all or equal information is available on the table for all players. A really good example of this is Seven Wonders Duel. Now, Seven Wonders, its big brother, is a pick and pass game. But with the dual version, it's a two-player only. There is a tableau of cards already set up on the table. Some are face up, some are face down. So you don't have all the information, but you have equal amounts of information, and I am taking from the middle and adding to my thing as then my opponent takes a turn and does that. So we go back and forth choosing or drafting the cards that we want. Now, in Seven Wonders Duel, when a face down card has nothing on top of it, it then flips over. So we gain the information equally as we go along. Some other pick and pass games in their two-player use this as well. I recently played Fields of Green with my brother, and that is a pick and pass game, but in the two-player, again, they just created a little table draft. And there were, I think it was 5 cards, I don't remember. And after we've both taken one, then 2 new ones come out. And so it's still changing, like getting a new hand of cards. The table's still changing, like a new card flipping over in Seven Wonders Duel. And I think that's the best way, certainly in an alternating draft, that it tends to work. Alternating drafts don't tend to work in higher player counts because there feels like there's an advantage to somebody at the table. If I go first and you're fourth, you have to, the thing that you want may have gone 3 turns ago, and so you're having to reevaluate all the time, and the best things might be gone. Whereas in a two-player, you're trying to manipulate and mitigate only against one person. So that becomes much friendlier. So the second main type, that was the alternating draft. The second type that I've seen in a table draft kind of is designed to address this issue. Again, I don't know where, this is just what people call it, I'm not sure where it's come from, but it's called the snake draft. Now that means if you're player number 4 and I'm player number 1, yes, to begin with you're going to have to wait, but then I'm going to have to wait. What typically happens is you'll draft 2 things or multiple things, and it will go player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, player 4, player 3, player 2, player 1. So yes, I have the advantage of picking the first thing, but that also means I'm at the disadvantage that I have to now take the last thing. Whereas you as player 4, you're having to wait for everybody else to pick, but then you get 2 things before anybody else. So you get to choose both of your things in rapid succession. A good example of this is Sagrada, a dice game where you are, whoever's turn it is, they roll all the dice, and you take it in turns, again in this snake draft fashion, to take one. And then the next person, then whoever's third or fourth or however many players you have, they take 2, and then it comes back around. And that's really important because you're trying to get the right numbers and right colors of dice to go into your stained glass window pattern that you're trying to build. It's a little abstract game. Other games use it for setup. The Settlers of Catan, or I think it's just now called Catan, that's how you set up. You you get to place out, I think it's been a little while, a house and a road. And so whoever's first again, house and a road, house and a road, house and a road. And then the last person gets to do that twice, and then it comes back again. So some people do it, some games do it for initial setup. And that just kind of addresses, it balances out the issue of player order. Because in the middle is probably the best place, because you have the least amount of options taken away from you at any given moment. I know it's equal across. But then you don't feel so bad being in fourth, and actually first can be a bad thing because you desperately want 2 or 3 certain things and you have to wait for it to come all the way back to you. And so, yeah, in my opinion, that balances that out. So in 2-player, an alternating draft works well. Actually, 7 Wonders Duel, interestingly, for setup with the wonders that you choose, you do a snake draft. There's a hand of 4 wonders. I take 1, pass it to you, you take 2 of them, and I get the one that's left. So there's a mini snake draft even within the setup, and then it's the alternating draft. There are many other examples I'm sure that you will be able to think of. Do put them down in the comments. There is another kind of table draft, but I'm going to talk about that next time. So mini spoiler, it's called The River. But we'll talk about that next time. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, do consider watching some of our others and maybe subscribing to this channel, seeking us out on social media. I really hope you do. I look forward to seeing you again. My name is Dieter for Winsome Loosemore. Goodbye.